Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. That is a quote from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Welcome to what might be the coolest class you ever take at ASU, Sleep and Dreaming. I'd like to start with an overview of the class, and then we'll jump right into the introduction to sleep. This class is divided into 4 parts. In part 1, we will explore sleep with an introduction to sleep, sleep need and sleep debt, and sleep variations. Readings will be entirely from your sleep text. In part 2, we will explore the physiology of sleep with the sleeping brain, the sleeping body, and sleep genetics. Readings will be from both your sleep and dreaming texts. In part 3, we will explore dreams, beginning with dreams, the noun, then dreaming, the verb, or the process of dreaming, and then theories of dreaming. Readings will be entirely from your dreaming text. In part 4, we will explore functions and dysfunctions of sleep and dreaming, beginning with functions of sleep, then functions of dreaming, and finally, dysfunctions of sleep and dreaming, sleep disorders. Readings will be from both your sleep and dreaming texts for this last quarter. So how would you define sleeping? It is likely that you would say things like, when my eyes are closed and I'm not interacting with the environment, or when I'm physically inactive and don't appear to be conscious. But there are 2 main problems here. This definition sounds really passive, but actually, there is a lot going on when we are sleeping and dreaming. In fact, in some cases, there is more going on than when we are awake. Also, how would this definition distinguish between sleep and a coma, or a torpor state, or hibernation for that case? The consensus among sleep researchers is that sleep is a reversible behavioral state of disengagement with the physical environment, altered consciousness, relaxed posture, and minimal movement. So let's repeat that. Sleep is a reversible behavioral state of disengagement with the physical environment, altered consciousness, relaxed posture, and minimal movement. Let's look at how sleep has been viewed through the ages. Now, before and through the 1800s, evidence shows that sleep was really thought of as a kind of small death. So there were these small death theories. And this was a theory that the brain slowed down, shutting down to the point of approaching death. Many different causes of this small death were proposed over the years, such as vapors from food decomposing, animal humors, lack of sensory stimulation. By the early 1900s, hypnotoxin theories were the most prominent. It was believed that hypnotoxins built up during wakefulness, poisoning the brain until it could no longer maintain consciousness. The hypnotoxins were thought to be eliminated gradually while sleeping until the brain is able to maintain consciousness again. In 1925, Kleitman opened the first lab devoted to the study of sleep, and that was at the University of Chicago. And then in 1929, just 4 years later, this game got the boost it really needed to get kicked off. Hans Berger, a German psychiatrist, invented the first EEG, and that is an electrical encephalograph. And he discovered electrical activity of the brain, what we now call brainwaves. In these studies, he also noted that brainwaves changed with sleep onset. They changed. They didn't just slow down, indicating active processing. Now, to add to that, in 1935, German biologist Erwin Bunning noted circadian rhythms of the body, which he described as a sort of biological clock. In 1953, Aserinsky, by the way, he was a grad student in Kleitman's first sleep lab. Aserinsky and Kleitman discovered REM waves using the EEG, and they connected these waves to dreaming. So much for passive theories of sleep. Sleep is really quite active. You might say the inactive theories of sleep were finally put to bed. So it was in the 1960s when the wonderful world of sleep was outlined into distinct stages and cycles. Clearly, active theory piqued curiosity, produced grant funding, and prompted many studies on questions like, what is sleep? Why do we sleep? How much sleep do we really need? How does sleep change with age? And so on. In 1975, the first accrediting organization of sleep professionals was founded, what is now known as the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. A few years later came the first peer-reviewed medical journal on sleep, and very aptly titled Sleep. Really fascinating research has been accumulating since then in that and other research journals. Now, that's it for dates to remember for now. It really gives a brief but informative view of how sleep has been viewed over time. In our next segment, we will explore how sleep is currently measured and studied in sleep labs.